Okay, so this is the main solids workspace. Is SketchUp a sketch-based thing? I'm pretty sure it is. Like you use Sketch and Extrude and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and I know Onshape is heavy on that too. So you're familiar with that design like workflow where you start with a sketch, you put down your details, dimensions and stuff, and then you build it up from there. That's called additive modeling. There's additive and subtractive modeling. So you can either like start with a thing and then build it up and then keep adding more features, or you can start with your whole thing and then kind of eat it in bit by bit to get to your final part. We're gonna probably do this all subtractive today. So we're gonna start, we're gonna like pop out your whole, what would be the stock, just this rectangle of the part, and then push everything into it, because that'd be like about the easiest way to go about it. So we can start that. I have a sheet with all my dimensions on it right here. We can start that. We start up here in this upper window. This is the create sketch button. It's also, there's a drop down in every one of these, and it's here too. So you can create a sketch and then you pick a plane to start on. So we're gonna start on the XY plane right here, which is this one. When you click it, it orients you. So from here, you got the 2D workspace. A bunch of the stuff up here's changed because now you're in the sketch tab. We were in the solid tab. So all of our basic shapes are right here. We can start with a rectangle, which is the 2-point rectangle. That's the default. Just pop down 2 corners, just like that.
Is there a specific size that you would?
We're gonna do that next.
Oh, okay. I will just pop those in. Oops. Oh, gosh.
This button right here is the sketch dimension button. It's very versatile. You can like grab this edge, or you can just like grab between 2 points and take that dimension, or depending on where you put your mouse, it'll do all sorts of different ones. So we're just gonna do these 2 different edges dimensions. This part, you can like get an idea from the size of it. It is 2 inches on this face. Oh, I'm in millimeters, hold on. Are you in inches or millimeters?
Millimeters.
Okay. That's
changing.
It's an easy fix right here in document settings. You got units, and then you do change active, and then it's over here.
Oh, I have to finish my sketch first.
Oh yeah.
Let me.
So
Alright, document settings, what you said.
finish sketch button
Units.
is in the top right.
And inch.
Okay.
Okay. Sweet, and then I can go back into sketch and edit.
Yep. You can right click and then edit sketch is one of the options, or you can double click on it in the menu.
Huh?
So we're gonna lay down 2 dimensions. This first side, we're just gonna do 2 inches. You can do 2, or you can specify the unit. Okay, and then the top one is 3 inches.
Oh, it'll make it for you. Okay.
The what
Oh,
thing?
Make it full screen.
I don't like full screen.
Oh, that's tough.
Oh my gosh. I hate that so much. Oh my gosh.
It's like if you have less space, it'll show you less things. Man, that's fucking what?
I hate it, bro.
Did you find the tool?
Yes.
Okay.
It's full screen. How did you do? What are we doing this in millimeters or inches?
Inches.
How do I change it?
Oh, so you go to document settings.
Okay.
Drop down.
Oh,
Oh, you hit finish sketch first.
finish.
Then go to document settings. Hit the units. Hit
Units.
the, yep.
Is the
Yep.
what the heck?
And then you
Oh
change
my
it to
gosh.
old inchy boys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they double click your sketch.
I don't want to click that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now you can. Yeah, I've been doing fusion for a long time.
Still in millimeters. Still in millimeters.
Is your document setting in inches?
Yeah.
Then you could just type inches into the window. It's probably still on millimeters from when you defined it originally. Okay. You caught up? Great. So, a big thing with fusion is it can get kind of unstable if you don't make sure everything's really defined. I like to call them fusion demons. You'll get the fusion demons and everything will start getting all wonky if everything's not fully constrained. So right now you can see this has some degrees of freedom. That means it can move around. It's not like defined. And I'm sure yours weren't like perfectly centered either. So we're gonna put this guy onto the origin, which is like a defined point. So then to do that, we're gonna go up into the constraints tab here. There's a lot of different ones for various different like geometric constraints. We're gonna do coincident. Coincident just defines 2 points or a point and a part of a line together. So we're gonna grab the coincident tool. We're gonna grab this point on the bottom left of our rectangle, and then we're gonna grab the point right here. And deselecting a tool, you can hit escape.
Oh, bless.
You'll see now that over on our sketches browser, there's a little lock on it, which means it's a fully constrained sketch, and I can't move this around anymore in any direction. So this will serve as the base of our part. You can go up here now and do finish sketch, and you've got this sketch in the workspace. At this point, try zooming in and out. That's just scroll wheel. Is it backwards? Do you like the way it zooms?
I don't know. I use the trackpad always, so
Okay.
it's kind of a heathen.
Fusion scrolling is backwards for how I like to scroll, and there's a checkbox. There's a checkbox in the settings to flip it.
It scrolls.
So you push out to zoom in?
Yes.
You guys are weird.
Is it good
I
or
have normal zooming.
is it good or backwards for you?
I have my trackpad as backwards, like for scrolling through a page, but I zoom normally.
Do you want to invert fusion or is fusion good?
Nah, it's fine.
You should
Alright, so now we're out of the sketch tab, which is over here, and we're back in the solid tab.
How did you get your grid not to be in view?
There's the home and the little cube at the top.
Your grid?
Yeah, I only have a grid. Oh, okay.
Did you figure it out?
Even that, it's still, I'm always showing a grid no matter what. I don't know if that's,
I need a map.
I don't know. Because it'll look different if I don't have a grid. I have no idea why.
That is
I have a grid.
Alright, well.
It might be one of the settings down at the bottom here, grid and snaps. Layout grid? Yeah, mine's
Oh.
checked off.
Oh.
These are just a bunch of the the buttons for using the area. Do you not have a mouse with you?
I do not.
You're
Okay.
just doing this without a mouse.
Yeah.
Fusion without a mouse, I kind of hate it. You can do it though. So down here at the bottom, I'm gonna go over like you're moving your camera around and everything. You've got the orbit tool.
Mm-hmm.
So if you click that and then drag around,
Yeah.
you can do orbiting. Mine is currently set to.
I know how to orbit and I know how to like pan and zoom and stuff. I can.
Yeah. So you've got the orbit, pan,
Orbiting?
zoom and scroll.
Zoom.
Hello.
Hello. I was about fucking done. No, I'm just kidding.
And then for anyone with a mouse,
I got a mouse.
you can
Doing
bring
Fucking
it out.
weirdos, yeah.
Alright. Are you recording?
Yes.
Okay.
If you hold down middle mouse button, it's pan, and drag around holding down middle mouse, and then shift and middle mouse is to orbit. And I don't know how to do this on a trackpad, but
Your pan is just shift and you just scroll.
if you want to set your orbit point with a mouse, you can hold shift and then click down middle mouse, so now it's right there, and now I'm orbiting around that point. Which is useful if it's pretty useful if you're like in a different area and it's trying to orbit way over to the right and you want to be working on the left.
I can just set the orbit center. Okay, cool. Yeah,
You should be missing
we're working in inches for this one. Right now I just have a rectangle that's a 2x3 constrained on the bottom left to the origin. So from here, we're gonna make this into a 3D shape. So to do that, we're gonna use the Create tab. This is how you create stuff. There's a lot of tools like Extrude, which is what we're gonna use. Revolve, you can make circular stuff. Sweeping and Loft kind of takes a sketch and you can drag it around the place. As well as primitives, if you're familiar with like Tinkercad. We're gonna do Extrude. On this face, it should auto-select, but you can also click on your faces to select them. And then the distance, which is a box here, or right here on the screen, we're going to do 0.4375.
Thank God it's not specific.
Okay. So, you both got that? Now from here, we've got this, like, exact rectangle here that we've got. 4375, what is that, 3/8? Or no, that's a 16th.
That's the wrong person.
It's that height because we're planning probably in the fall to do a machining workshop or CAM programming, and this will fit in the mill we're gonna have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is that specifically?
This is, let me pull it up for you. This is a GigaDrive defragulator.
Yeah. You didn't know?
Oh, what?
Oh, I don't have the flavor text in here. Hold on. This device is used in the endocraniographic industry to connect the 3 manicular tubes of the drive to the diode base of the defragulator unit. This allows the GigaDrive to defragulate in a more efficient manner. It also allows for better muonic transfer of neutrinos during the electromyoptic process.
You know the plumb bob?
Perfect.
Would you,
Okay.
would you like to look at this? You
I
can-
would actually. I would love to look at this right
And I've got my name on the back. We're gonna put our names on the back of there.
Sweet. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, dude, I love GigaDrive defractulators, dude. All about it.
Okay. So now that we've got our rectangle apart, you can see it has that like indent in the rim, it has that big box, and then 3 little circles. So we're gonna do those one at a time on the top face here. So to do that, we're gonna make another sketch of that outer area. So we're gonna do the sketch tool, and this time we're gonna select this whole face as our surface for the sketch. And I'm just panning it over to fit. From here, there are the 2 lines that make up that indent. There's the outer one and the inner one. And both of them can be done, you could do them with the rectangle tool, but we're gonna do offset because it makes it a whole lot easier. So if you do offset and then select that outer edge, it'll make a box that's offset from that edge. So we're gonna drag it to the inside so it knows which side to offset it from. And that is an offset of, it's on here somewhere, 0.125, which is an 1/8 of an inch. Oh, mine went to the outside, so I'm gonna put a negative in there. Alright. That's the outside one. We're gonna do second offset. I don't think, yeah, you can't offset from an offset. So we're gonna do it from the outer edge again. And this time just do negative 0.25. So now that gives us this big rectangle along the edge. And the sketch should be fully constrained because all we did was 2 offsets, which have dimensions. So we're going to do finish sketch again. And then if we extrude, we can grab this edge right here. And if I type in, the dimension we're extruding is 0.25. If I type in 0.25, it's going to push it up. You can see that it kind of makes this like wall, and we don't want that. So we're just going to make that negative. And this is doing what's called a Boolean operation, where it takes 2 objects, and then it can do one of various things. The operations are listed here. It can join them, so it can take 2 objects and put them together. It can cut. We're doing a cut. If we do an intersect, it'll just give you what the intersect of the two is. And then these are just kind of auxiliary things. So we're doing a cut at negative 0.25. So it's the outer edge. Now, it was right there. Are you caught up, Andrew?
I sure am.
Okay, great.
I am just following along visually.
Whoops. I made a sketch on the wrong surface. I didn't want to do that. It's on this surface right now, so I'm just going to select it and click delete, the delete key on my keyboard. Fusion is a parametric CAD and it has a timeline. So deleting stuff isn't always what you want to do. Like, for example, if I just am like looking at this part, if I take this first, this is the timeline down here. If I take this first extrude and I hit delete, it'll go, hey, this is referenced by other features in the timeline, please don't do that. So, like the correct thing to do usually is to find a remove, and remove will put that into the timeline instead of just taking it out, which that's a great way to avoid those fusion demons that'll come in and just mess everything up.
I love that so much.
This timeline's also great because like we can work backwards. So I'm gonna move back here. I'll have everyone go back to this point in the timeline, just one space back. And I'll make a new sketch on this surface again. And we're gonna do that big square hole right now with the rounded corners. So I'll start that with a rectangle. That's a good way to start it. And it is, I'll put it down, and then with the dimension tool, it's gonna be 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay, now that we have this, I'm gonna use fillet tool, which is in the modify. Modify has some other things that don't make new shapes, they just change around the ones you have. I guess offset kind of makes a new shape, but fillet, chamfer, blending offset, there's all these ones for messing with lines. We're gonna fillet and grab our corners, our 4 corners. And this just takes a sharp angle and makes it into a curve with tangents on both sides. And the radius of this is going to be 0.25. If you type that in and hit enter, it'll apply it to all 4 fillets because we made them at the same time. From here we've got this nice shape, but it's not constrained. You could put this anywhere in here. Even if you eyeball it really close, it's probably not correct. So I'm going to set its dimensions in the space. We're going to go from the left side, this line, to this line. This is another use of the sketch tool, or of the dimension tool. And put this anywhere. I'll just drop down outside our part at 0.5 inches. And then I'll do the same to the top. And at this point, we have a fully constrained shape here. And you can tell it's fully constrained because all the lines go from blue to black. And the little lock on our sketch over here. That was a whole bunch of stuff right in a row. Is everyone right here? Andrew?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I am fusing in a different manner.
So behind.
I'm working on my final for another class.
Ah, okay.
I am sorry. But it's a fusion.
So now we've got this shape with our 4 curved edges, and we're gonna extrude it in, and the depth is 0.25. So I'll grab the extrude tool, and then my face, and it'll be negative 0.25 because I'm going in. You can also drag the slider around, and it's not hitting the denomination. So if I zoom in, you can get even closer to it. Right there, 0.25. And now that I got this shape down, I'll put the timeline back. and we got both shapes on there. So that's a great way of using the timeline. You can go back like way before you've changed other stuff, but if you're not like responsible with it, and if you're editing things that are edited down the line, it'll mess stuff up. If you notice on the part, these corners are also filleted. And we didn't do that in the sketch, so we're gonna use the fillet tool in the solid tab right here. We're gonna go in and just grab all our edges. You'll have to maneuver your camera around to grab all
Is
these.
it all 8?
Yes. 4 outside ones, and then the 4 inside ones as well. Okay. Okay, so, and the radius on these, we got our little dimension box. We're gonna do 0.0625, which is a 1/16 of an inch. And fillets and chamfers are generally a good idea on any like engineering part, whether it's printed or milled or most ways of manufacturing, because sharp edges are a very prone sort of design to damage and just breaking. So rounded edges are usually best for most things. So got the chamfer in there. And then we have 3 holes as well to do. I'll do that as another sketch. So I'm placing a sketch down on this surface, this top surface again. I'm gonna be working right in here. These holes, the circle tool is right here. Just realizing there are a few tools I didn't go over. There's the line tool. You can just put down lines like this. The arc tool, there's a few different types. There's 3-point arc where you put down like a line and then you put its midpoint. Center point arc, you put down the center of the arc and then an edge, and then you can draw the arc in like that, which is pretty useful for like if you have something like this and you want to do an arc center point, you grab the edge and you go to the other one. Tangent. Coincident. I'm just showing you, like, you just do all these constraints are how you put stuff together.
Guys looking good.
We've been in Fusion for a while now.
About 25 minutes exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And splines, I don't use splines a lot. These are for like more like, I think generally more artsy stuff, or like if you're making a product that's meant to be really like good looking, nice curves for you to use. But right now we're doing those circles. So that center diameter circle tool right here. We're gonna pop down 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter, because we're gonna make them all look nice and in the right spot. So from here, I'm gonna grab my dimension tool. I'm gonna take this circle and I'm gonna say I want you to be a 1/4 inch, 0.25. So that'll make it the right size. And now here's a trait of a parametric CAD that's really nice. If I put down this dimension, I can just say, I want it to be that dimension. I click on this one, and it fills in dimension 19. And then it makes it the same, and it says it's a function of this dimension. And if I do the same thing up here,
Whoa.
I can do that, and now I can just edit this one right here. Say I want it to be half an inch, it'll change all of them at the same
Whoa.
time.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're
Wait,
trying,
is it? That's awesome. It's not working.
Stupid measure tool isn't working.
Are you using measure or sketch dimension?
The sketch dimension.
Okay.
Do you click the middle or the edge first?
So if I wanted to lay down this dimension for, whoops, I'm gonna do another tab there. I click on the edge of the circle,
Okay.
and that gives me the diameter. And I click it again to place it down.
and how did you change the size of it? You just did the dimension tool again once you were done?
So I defined this dimension as being the same as this one.
Or?
And then if you, I deselected my tool, if you double click on a dimension, it lets you edit it. You could double click or you can right click and, or maybe you can't. If I select and then right click. I guess you have to double click. So I double click this. And then if I change this one, it'll change all three.
I can't wait to use this in my final project for Monday. I should have been using this the entire time. Oh.
So from here, we got our three circles, and they're the right size and shape. So now we're just gonna do a bunch of constraints to get them in the right spot. On the part, they're like, you got three of them. Two of them are in line with each other, up and down. So we're gonna use this tool. This is the horizontal vertical tool. It'll auto-detect whether you're trying to make something horizontal or vertical to something else. So these are closer to vertical. We're gonna grab this point and this point. And now they're vertically constrained with each other. So like this one can go up and down, but they'll go side to side together. From here, I'm gonna put down a line, so I grab the line tool. And if you like put this on another line, it'll kinda, on this one. We made the sketch on this surface, so it doesn't see this outside surface. We're gonna go along this edge. And then right here, see that triangle is indicating it's the midpoint. So we're gonna put down a midpoint edge of our line and then a midpoint edge of our line over here. This will make our this is a center line through this part. And then if I click right here, you can see it's now divided this face, which is kind of a problem because it's also divided this circle. We don't want this circle in two pieces. So I'm gonna grab this line and turn it into a construction line. So this is a line that we use to help constrain other things, but it doesn't actually show up in our final sketch. From here, I'm gonna do a coincident. I'm gonna coincident this circle right here onto the middle line. And now it can't get off that line. I use the coincident tool again, which is this up here. And I grab the circle and then onto the line. And then in addition, that circle, if I grab the dimension, I'm doing a point and a line now. So I'm doing a point and then a line to this outer edge. I make a new dimension. This circle is 0.5 inches in from the edge. And you can see it's fully constrained now, because it can't move up, down, it can't move left, right, and we set its size correctly.
Mine's a lot further up than that. Oh, because I'm an idiot. That's Jackson. Never mind, disregard.
Not true, Morty. You're learning.
A little
He's using
more.
3 softwares for a small project right now.
That's too many.
I'll go a little more into that.
So how did you select that line, or did you just kind of guess on the line for the very outer edge?
This one right here?
No, when you click the circle and you're trying to displace it, 0.5, yeah.
Oh, right. So if it's like over here, I grab the point, and then it can see this
Oh,
outer edge
okay.
right here. You just go and you click on the edge. The dimension tool is really versatile and it'll auto pick up on what you're trying to do most of the time.
Okay.
If I'm gonna go into the horizontal vertical tool a little more here. So this one is kind of close to 45, but it's closer to being horizontal. So if I do horizontal vertical on it, it'll snap it that way. And then same with these two. So that just sets stuff between that direction. And you can do it between points as well. So horizontal, vertical, like that. Now that we're back in here, let me find what the dimensions for those two are. I've got it as being, I'll grab this point and I'm gonna go to this outer edge again. It's gonna be 1.125 or 1 1/8 inch. And that will set both of these to that distance now, because this top one can't go left or right, it's been constrained vertically. So I've got these two now. And I'm going to show you two different ways you could go about doing this. Firstly, they're both going to be 0.625 from the edge, which is 5/8 of an inch. So we'll just do that real quick. Do that on both of them. That's easy enough. The other way is if I just make this bottom circle. So I have this circle and this circle here. I can use the mirror tool. So I grab my object. I want this object, and then I go to the select the mirror line, another box over here. I'm gonna grab this middle line because we already put it down. It's the line I want to go around, and it'll put a circle down there. Hit OK. So that's the other way you could do that. That's great for if you've got something much more complicated. If you've made something on one side that took you 10 minutes to draw out and constrain and dimension, you don't want to do that again. So that gives you this. We'll finish sketch, and then up here, this is the little trackball. It's a cube. This is the track cube. You can click all over it. This is just some more navigation stuff. You can pick what you want. You've got the edges or corners, and then I'm just gonna hit the home button to bring me back to the home display of the part. So now from here, we're gonna set those 3 holes into the part. Just do extrude, and then we'll have to select them all one at a time. We'll put them together. They're all on the same surface, so it's not unhappy about them being at different heights or anything. And they're all going to go in negative 0.125, which is nothing much. These are the 3 connectors. The 3 connectors for the manicular tubes.
Which do what exactly again?
They just allow the gig drive to defragulate in a more efficient manner.
I mean, sorry, that was just so obvious. I didn't pick up on that. That's my bad.
So this is like, we're pretty much there. This is the final shape of our part. But we gotta put our names on the bottom. So I'm gonna spin it around until I'm looking at the bottom of it.
Is there an X-ray view I can look at?
You wanna just try to like select it from the top?
No, I mean like I can rotate around, but you can see through yours.
Oh, can you not see those like little dashed lines?
No.
Huh. Is that up here?
Yeah, I was wondering what that was. I've never used that before.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I thought that was just standard, is that?
I'm here to push boundaries. That's
Morty, it's
Do you have
Always do
anything,
this.
Yeah.
do you have anything deselected in here under display and then object visibility?
Display, settings,
selected.
object, visibility, no, everything's selected.
Huh.
Effects, ground reflection, environment, no, visual style,
Shaded with hidden edges.
Ah.
That's what it is.
there it is, boom.
Are you just on shaded?
I was on shaded with something,
That looks
Those
weird.
are shaded and visible edges only.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, I like shaded with hidden edges the most.
As the youths.
Another kind of cool trick of Fusion is if I was like being really lazy and I didn't want to spin this thing around to look at the bottom, I can just long click and it'll basically shoot a line through the whole part where my cursor is,
Wow.
and then you can select anything that's along that line. So I want that bottom face, which is down here. I'm gonna make a new sketch on here. This is where we're gonna put our names. I'm gonna put some text on here. Text is under create. It'll just be text. And we're gonna center this right in here. So we're gonna make our text box first. Just drop that down. I'm gonna type my name in. Doesn't really matter right now. And I don't really want to go around to the edges of all of this and say like, this is this far, this is this far, this is this far, this is this far. That's a lot of work. So I'm gonna grab the line tool. Oops.
Did you click for the text?
Oh, it's under create, and then text is right here.
Screw Illustrator, I'm gonna strictly use the
No, I'm not in the university and
Tell me when you get your name down.
I need to add my name to literally everything. So it's just outstanding.
Oh, and Andrew, I figured out how to do that, like move your engraving bit along a path.
Ooh.
It's a font. It's these SHX fonts.
Huh?
Any of these fonts are just lines.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I will like 100% use that for Expo. That's wonderful.
Yeah. I
Thank
did
you.
not figure out how to actually put the chamfer bit going along the line.
But you can make the lines, that's what's important.
If you make it with an end mill in Fusion and put a chamfer bit in your machine, it'll work.
Well, I mean, but of course. Like that was obviously the answer.
It's actually
Thanks, Scott,
pointing-
that's nice.
That's actually pointing to the other GigaChat defibrillator.
It defibrillates GigaChads?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, all the steroids really gets to their blood pressure, so it really cardiac arrest is a given at that point.
Trent heads need help too, you know? That was a rough sentence to get out. Say that 3 times fast.
I don't know how quickly you're all picking this all up. I like to use the hotkeys when I'm working through Fusion, so we're gonna put down some lines. The hotkey for line is, you guessed it, L. So I'm just gonna do L.
I really did say that.
And then I'm gonna make these construction, because I don't want them to like affect anything, they're just for me to center it. You can click it, or the hotkey is X.
Ooh. X for construction.
That one doesn't make as much sense as L for line.
I was trying to make it like an X, I don't know.
I'm gonna go corner to corner of my text box.
Corner to corner. I'm gonna take back to significantly smaller than ours.
And then I'm gonna do corner to corner of my whole box. And these make an X here. Oops,
X marks the spot.
X does mark the spot. Because we're gonna use the midpoint tool. And we're gonna say the midpoint of this line has to be the same as the midpoint of this line. And it's gonna put our box right in the center.
Chill.
And our sketch still is not constrained. new pop quiz, see if any of you can get this. Do you know why it's not constrained?
You need to put a corner and use the coincident tool.
If I drag my text box, you'll see the text box can change its size. So you don't want that. No matter how you try and move it, it'll always stay centered here. Oh, mine's a little weird. I can skew mine. I don't want to be able to skew mine. So I'm gonna horizontal, vertical. You can grab any of these 4 lines, any of the 4 box lines. I'm just gonna grab that one. So now I've got this text box that will always be centered. I can move it outside. It'll always be centered, and it'll always be left, right, up, down, but it can change size. So I'm just gonna drop down some dimensions. The hotkey for dimension is D, also a nice one. Drop down a dimension right here. It doesn't really matter what these dimensions are, because like our size of the text box doesn't change much. I think you might have to have it be bigger than the text. That might be a thing. But if I put dimensions on both of them, no matter what they are, they're gonna be random numbers, it'll be constrained. So I've got this nice constrained text box. I'll just make sure everything's caught up.
Do the entire centering thing.
The entire centering thing, yeah. So, get my line tool up here, and I'm making it a construction line. And I'm going corner to corner of the text box. And then after that, I'm doing the other corners, going corner to corner of my whole rectangle. Because each of these lines, their midpoint represents the midpoint of the whole box. And then from there, I'm going to use the midpoint tool in the constraints tab, right here, the triangle. And I'm going to select one line and the other line.
Loki kind of pissed that when I hit enter, the V isn't centered. Oh wait, no, it is. I'm just askew, as the kids say. Yeah, cattywampus.
We also noticed that it can turn. We don't want it to be sideways, so I did the horizontal, vertical, and the top line.
For the midpoint thing, you just click the line.
Yeah. You click this diagonal line.
Go to constraints, yeah. That one and then the other one you drew inside your text box.
This one.
No. Do you not draw?
Apparently not.
Oh, so you draw another line from here to here.
Oh.
Well, you can go corner of the outside to corner of the outside.
The entire thing.
Yeah, the entire thing.
Wait, that's what's It's not.
Yeah, so just, no, get a line to the top here.
I don't have it clicked. Oh my gosh.
To that corner, and then you have another line. So now you can hit the constraint. Go to midpoint, you click, yep, click that diagonal one. Both of them, yep, that one. No, the, I think makes it standard.
The text or
The text box, and now it should be centered.
The text won't be centered yet, because it's like standard document format where it's putting it in the top left. So, did you get your text box centered inside the part though? Like this box here.
You should be able to hit escape, and then you can drag the text box, I think, to make it bigger. No, it will move. I think. Why did it midpoint out here? Constraints, midpoint. Let's do this bad boy and this bad boy. Pourquoi? And you're still able to, oh, you have two text boxes?
no, I just have
You have 2 text boxes.
Where? Where's the other one?
This is one, and yeah. See it?
Oh yeah, there are two.
Yeah.
You can delete that, so if you grab any edge, yeah, you can delete
What the hell?
it. Oh, that didn't work. Were there 2 text boxes?
Yeah.
Are you telling me the fusion
No.
demons are
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, and now she can do.
Somebody that-
This one too.
Oh snap!
I should show you selection direction.
Did we just hold the right click down? Yeah. All right, now I can hit the L button. I learned that one. How the fuck did you get to this text box?
It's hard to see because they default to construction lines.
Aha! There we go. Now I can go to constraint and then boom, boom.
Oh my gosh.
Is it centered now?
Fusion. Yeah.
As we were seeing earlier, it can go crooked. We don't like that.
Cattywampus.
We can go all cattywampus on it. So I'm gonna grab the horizontal vertical, and you can grab any of the sides of your text box. It's gonna be this one. And I'll snap it to be the right shape. Keep it inside too.
So what's the difference between the construction and center line?
Where is center
It,
line?
right next to the construction on the all the way to the right.
Construction center line? If I do this. Oh, it's just the. I might be wrong about this. I think it's just the pattern.
Oh, okay,
This is like an engineering thing.
got it.
If you look over here,
Ah,
actually mine isn't even marked up pretty well. Oh no, right here. This is a center line that divides and defines this section. You can see it's like dash dash line dash dash line. This one's dash line, but you get the idea how they're different. I bet they don't have any functional differences though. Oh, no, center line still divides it.
Hmm.
We're learning together.
Always the best part of these workshops. Trust me, I've said that so many times.
And then the construction line doesn't do anything to your sketch.
Okay.
I'm going to show you selection direction. So if I select and drag my cursor anywhere to the left, I get this yellow dashed box. But if I go to the right, I get this orange solid box.
Window selection is not okay.
The best way to remember the difference is that left you select liberally and right you select conservatively.
What's that?
So if I select right, it will only select anything that is completely inside my selection box. It's very conservative about selection. If I go left, it'll do anything that's even touched by the selection box. So if you're ever trying to select something little and you accidentally do the whole piece, you go the other way.
Lovely.
Here, I got this again, but it's not fully constrained. Really trying to drill in. Please fully constrain all of your everything. It'll make life so much easier as soon as you get to big projects. I'm going to put down 2 random constraints, whatever size they are right now. Doesn't matter. It's fully constrained now.
And so you just clicked your corners when you went to that one?
I did my edges. You could do the 2 corners, but I just grabbed the whole line. The whole line gives you that.
That's weird. If I select one line, okay, thankfully, didn't do that this time. Love that. Perfect. I'm not crazy. I'm crazy.
You're a little crazy.
Ah.
If I were to take this like diagonal line and try and dimension it, I could go straight out to say its length. Or if I go straight up, it'll do just its horizontal distance, or straight left gives you just its vertical distance.
Cool, okay.
But now we're going to center our text. So I'm just going to double click on it to get back into the edit text window as my Fusion gives me the scroll wheel of death. Okay, we're back. In alignment, I'm just going to do center and middle. Right here, like you're in Google Docs or something. you can make the height anything you want. This is just what mine's at. I like that size, it's good. If I hit okay. There you go. We all there? Okay, I'm gonna finish the sketch. Oh, my rotation point is somewhere really weird, and I don't like that. I can't control it very well. So I'm gonna do that click thing to get it right on my part. That's better. Now, if we want to push this into the sketch, what tool do we use? Yep. I hit it, and it hit it's like my whole face. I don't want that. It defaults to that. That's more than I need. So I'm gonna go over here, hit the X to clear my selection. I'm just gonna go in and grab my text and drag it in. I don't know how far a good distance is. I mean, I don't want it to pop through my other holes. I'm gonna go to this front view to get a completely 2D perspective of my part. This is where that wireframe comes in handy. I think like 0.1 is a good number for this. Negative 0.1 inches. I'm just gonna leave it there. Now I got my name in it.
Nice.
That's the entire part. We're done with the part now. So I'm gonna go over like the administrative stuff of saving it and like how to do your folders and file directories in Fusion. Cause it's cloud-based, you don't save it to your computer, it's all stored on their end. And then I'll also show you how to export this as an STL for like 3D printing. So I can, because I'm up here, I just Control S for save. And I'll name it Workshop Gigadrive Defragulator. It's saving to the directory I'm currently in. What does that autofill as for you guys? Is it just like admin project?
I have a certain location I've already created, so it's gonna default to the last one I think I did.
Okay. So I'll just save it there. It's gonna show V0 because it's uploading. And then V1. Fusion keeps track of what version you're on for design. I can give you an example of that, probably. Oh no, do I not? Oh man. I don't have my big project I worked on in school. I have some high ones here. Like this one's on version 14. This is a mouthpiece for a saxophone that I modeled. But I'm in C3D Workshop right now, and it's saved right here as Workshop Gigadrive Defragulator. If I close that, I can double click on it again to open it back up. And then navigating is like right up here for your directories. I can go up one, or I can go back to home. I keep everything in admin project. This is what I was told to do when I started. I don't know if that's important. You might be able to keep it under your name if you have that.
I have like full projects right now, so, yeah.
Yeah. So here, new folder is up here. You can make new folders and do all that. And I'm just in the workshop. So that made our part, and it's saved and everything. Fusion will crash. If you're working in a file you've saved before, it should automatically save it like as it crashes, or a couple minutes before. I think it just does it every few minutes. But it's still important, as in most things, to just save very frequently when you're working. So now are we all like saved and got our stuff good? I'm gonna show you how to export this as an STL. This is the file button. You have export right here. This isn't what we do. We don't use this because, I don't know, they just decided this is a bad workflow. If you hit export, it'll show you everything you can export it as. Like STL file is here, but that'll export your entire project, like everything you have in it as just one solid piece. Hey, it's good for doing Fusion archives. You can save it to your computer so that you can like open it when you're offline or if you run out of space or something. A bunch of different formats. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna select this body. You can either do that in the bodies and just hit body, or if you've got nothing selected, you can double click it. I think that's true if I do it that way. Yeah. So once I have it, the whole body selected, I'm gonna right click on it. And I'm gonna go down to save as mesh. This is the workflow for doing one part at a time. You can do STLs. I don't really know if there's a functional difference between these, like if a slicer will look at it differently. I'm not sure between binary or SC.
I don't think it matters. I know it matters for if you're actually planning on using those STLs in a modeling software. Like Blender does not like ASCII STLs.
Okay.
But it does like binary ones.
STLs are the simplest. It's just a bunch of triangles. It stands for something fancy, but I just remember it as standard triangle language.
Like stereolithography. Yeah.
That's my second guess.
Objects are a little more advanced. It says it's a unitless file, so it's like STL. Oh, it says stereolithography right there. Unitless means when you import it into something else, you have to tell it, like, I made this in inches. If you put it in a slicer, they usually work with millimeters. But objects will also output, like, your surface, your color and texture. We have a ton of time. I can go over, like, doing materials and colors if you'd like.
I honestly would kind of just like to ask you questions about what I'm currently working on to see how I can unfuck myself essentially.
I have my schedule blocked out until 9.
Perfect.
You can probably
Dinner
tell that
plans?
we're recording though.
Yeah, definitely. 3MF is up here. 3MFs are used, I know, by like Orca Slicer and Bamboo Studio, and they can hold all your slicing information in the 3MF
Okay.
file too. But STL is kind of standard one. We're an inch. If you open this up, you can get like your quality, but that doesn't matter for most things unless you're like sending this to Blender. If I do export, yeah, just hit OK, and it'll bring you to here. It'll tell you like it's gonna be right here. That doesn't matter. We want to save to my computer in this area. So I'm gonna hit the 3 dots, and then I'll just put it in like, well, I'll just put it in my STLs file that I have in my drive. But you can put it wherever. If you hit save there, it'll fill the line into here, and then you hit save again, and it exports. And I can go and look for that.
That's like the main purpose.
I know.
What are we doing,
My
man?
GigaChat defibrillator has been defrauded.
So you can see we've made this part. It's a file on our computer now. You can bring this to a slicer and print it, or you can put it in Blender if you want to render it.
Rhino. Oh gosh.
Okay. And I'll cut the recording there. That's pretty good.